Hey guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just got some difficult news, and this injury feels like a bit of a gut punch to me because for one, I was really excited for how he's going to fit into this team, especially with the new kickoff rules in effect. The guy's Cordero Patterson, and the injury is one that tends to linger. I don't want to panic. I don't want to totally think that he can no longer be counted on this team, but I've been a football fan for over 40 years. And there's one thing I know. An older player with a hammy in camp, it seldom ends without speed bumps. And also there's a calf strain that Russell Wilson is pushing through. Justin Fields has been getting a key opportunity with the ones, some mixed results. I'll cover that this weekend as practices commence. But the thing with Wilson, it's not considered a long-term injury. So I want to focus on Patterson right now, as this injury is one that may limit his ability to fire on all cylinders for quite some time. What's up? This is Sports Talk Steelers. I'm your host, Sean. We are starting something new here. Join the family. Get in on the ground floor. Hit the subscribe button. Would love to have you as part of this young family. So I'm going to start here and just read the injury report from Brooke Pryor on NBC Sports, and then we're going to go from there. So Steelers placed RB Cordero Patterson hamstring on the non-football injury list. Patterson is dealing with a hamstring issue from off-season training. He's considered day-to-day. Since he's not cleared to practice yet, the Steelers placed him on the non-football injury list until he can return. The 33-year-old was signed in the offseason to play a multifaceted role. Coming over from OC Arthur Smith's former team, the Falcons, Patterson is likely to be a return specialist for the Steelers. He might also mix in on offense due his familiarity with Smith. Once Patterson returns from his hamstring issue, there will be more detail on his usage throughout camp and preseason. So I just wanted to read directly from the injury report. To me, I think this cuts just a little bit deeper. This is one of offensive coordinator Art Smith's favorite toys, his Swiss Army knife, if you will, and one that's so versatile. And let's just face it, it's fun to watch. And I'm going to go to this story here on it's on on3.com. You guys read it in its entirety. I'm going to draw from it just a little bit, and let's look at Patterson with some perspective, right? Granted, he's getting old. He's one that'll also make a hamstring injury even tougher to recover from quickly, but at 33, it also isn't quite as bad of a loss. I think it's a mixed bag. At 33, he wasn't going to be a key cog to the offense, but he was going to play a joker role in Smith's offense. And I mean, it's a considerable loss. Also, on top of that, personally, I just like to watch him play. So with camp starting yesterday, that includes the first formal injury report. So here goes. On top of that, Steelers Mike Tomlin, he held a press conference, and during that time with the media, he shared the disappointing news. And also on Dean Lowry and Cole Holcomb. So let's hear straight from head coach Mike Tomlin. We've got 3 guys that'll be on the list. We've got 2 pup guys, Dean Lowry and Cole Holcomb. Obviously, with a pre-existing injury, Cordero Patterson, he'll be on the non-football injury list. He has a hammy that he hurt south downtown in training. We've got 3 guys that'll start off kind of as non-participants in this process. And if you kind of look a little past Patterson, I'll get back to him, but Holcomb having a great season in 23. Then he suffered that severe injury. His recovery is progressing well, but he's not quite yet ready to return to football. And that's not surprising to Steelers fans. I mean, you guys already knew about this. But Lowry is brought in the offseason to provide a veteran presence on the defensive line, and that's sorely needed. And the most surprising news came, of course, when the Patterson announcement came through. So let's kind of look here at how Patterson fits within this offense and most notably special teams. Let's see their original plan for him. So stay with me here. So the Steelers signed Patterson. It was a 2-year contract. And at the time when Patterson was signed to a 2-year, $6 million contract, that's not tiny, there was some surprise as to like what role he'd be playing with the amount of money featured in the deal. That's an honest question. And the move came directly on the heels of the NFL tweaking its kickoff rules for 2024 to force teams to return more kickoffs. It was absolutely immediately after the announcement. And I remember when the announcement came, I'm like, man, the Steelers are really on this, immediately preparing for this, immediately taking advantage of a possible edge. It looked like a pretty brilliant move. And with that move, the Steelers, they actually acquired one of the best of all time as a returner. And let's look at that a little bit. He was voted to the Pro Football Hall of Fame's All 2010s team as a kick returner. He's been a first team All Pro 4 times. He's had a pretty unique career. It's been a cool run. At 33, he has an NFL record 9 career kickoffs for touchdowns. 3 times he's led the NFL in kick return average. And 2 other times, he's straight up led the NFL in kickoff return yards. And for his career, great averages, 29.3 yards per return. And that's on 273 attempts over his 11 seasons. So if you look at the history of the Steelers, you guys haven't had a player lead the NFL in kick return average since, any guesses? Rod Woodson with 27.3, and that's all the way back in 1989. So part of the excitement of getting Patterson, I mean, well, the Steelers are ready for a really good returner. And he also spent the past 3 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons. As I already said, he was with the Steelers OC Arthur Smith. So once again, that connection makes it really interesting as well. He was going to get on the field as a joker, possibly with that role to kind of provide a spark. And also early in his career, he was kind of only seen as a return man with some ability to help out as a wide receiver. But Smith is crafty, especially with the running game. He unlocked like additional value from Patterson. He utilized him as a running back as well. And not to make fantasy football relevance here, but he really bolstered some of our fantasy teams during the Art Smith time. I mean, he rushed for more than 600 yards in both 2021 and 22, and then he was limited to just over 150 rushing yards in 23. And that kind of coincides with the Falcons adding running back Bijan Robinson in the first round of the draft. But where his value was, not only in fantasy football, but in real football, he was super adept at catching the ball. He hauled in 93 passes over the past 3 seasons with Smith, and he was so versatile. And then looking back as a first-round pick of the Vikings in 2013. 2013 sounds like a long time ago, doesn't it? He weighed in at 6'2" and 216 pounds. And at that weight and that size, he ran a 4.42 second 40-yard dash at the scouting combine. And that was him coming out of the University of Tennessee. Just a hard-nosed runner with the ball in his hands, but the agility that it just makes guys miss. And he's caught 298 career passes for 2,795 yards, 16 touchdowns, and then also his dual purpose, 2,511 yards and 22 touchdowns on 514 career carries. So he's been a weapon. He was looking to become an immediate upgrade for the Steelers as a kick returner. The Steelers averaged 23.5 yards per attempt, and that's with guys like Anthony McFarland handling the majority of those duties. I mean, both are no longer with the team, but still, in addition to that, he can potentially serve as the team's number 3 running back behind Harris, behind Warren, and also fill in at times at wide receiver. And as we know, as following the Steelers, you guys still do not have total clarity at wide receiver. So he was going to be valuable there too. If we take it directly from Steelers running backs coach Eddie Faulkner, he talked to the Athletics' Mark Kaboli, and he said that they were going to dabble with Patterson in that way, whatever that means. Like there was a plan in place for him. And to hear it straight from the coach, we can use him in a lot of different ways, and I'm sure we will dabble in that when we get going. He sits in my room, and the running back position encompasses all things, both in the backfield and out of the backfield. So it's probably a really good room to be in right now. So this isn't a post-mortem. I mean, Patterson, the hamstring isn't going to be there all year, but it's just an injury that tends to flare up, especially if you don't give him time to heal. And kind of looking at where we will see him as fans. He should get looks at wide receiver. That's a position the Steelers need help in. And on this channel, as you know, that's definitely been covered. The need at wide receiver is real. Stability beyond Pickens. But judging by Pickens' behavior in training camp practice yesterday, I don't know how much stability there is there. Maybe I'll talk about that this weekend. But the thing is, it kind of remains to be seen if head coach Mike Tomlin will give the 33-year-old the Joker title again when he's recovered. That's what was used last year in this offense. And whatever his role is called, he seems to be a lock as a key offensive contributor. I mean, no matter the position, but it just kind of stinks that he tweaked his hammy. And I hope that his age does not belie his ability to recover. I hope the Steelers give him enough time to recover so he can be at 100% when he does rejoin the team. And that way you're not going to have recurrences. You guys, you've been so kind during this short time I've done this channel. You guys enjoy the off season, enjoy camp. It's finally here. And preseason games are around the corner. Like and subscribe, my friends, and I will see you soon.